Hello, Dom from BlackToad Studios here, and today we've got a very special game. We are playing against the legend IDICBeer and his Necron force on this beautiful board. We're playing Deadlock, and this board is absolutely beautiful. There's lots of themed terrain here. We are going to do Dawn of War deployment, and at the moment the Necrons are going first, so let's go over and look what the Necrons are bringing to this battle. Here we are with 2,000 points of Necrons. First impression, lots of flayed ones, very intimidating. Normally I underestimate them when you see them in battle reports, but when you got this many, it's very scary. So Nick, do you want to go through what you have brought here today?
Sure, so this is my flayed one Decorian list. Starting off on the left there with my Reclamation Legion. So I have 3 Tomb Blades. They have +1 to cover save. I have a basic Overlord with a Staff of Light, 5 Immortals and 2 squads of 10 Warriors. Then we have 6 Auxiliary units, so 6 units of 10 flayed ones. And then over on the left we have 2 Canoptic Harvest formations. All the raids have whip coils, that's just the only upgrades on that. And that is it, 2,000 points.
Alright, okay. So let's see what the Chaos are bringing to this battle. So here we are, the Chaos forces have deployed. So let's just have a quick run through what I've got here. I've got this Karen battle tank here. Got 10 cultists there. We've got a Rhino here with a Havoc launcher. In the Rhino we've got 5 Marines with a melter gun and a plasma pistol. 2 level 3 Flying Demon Princes and Marker Nurgle. They've also got Spell Familiars. Moving over here, we've got the Mauler Fiend. So let's see what he can do in this game. We've got 10 cultists lurking around this objective here. We've got another Rhino with 5 Chaos Marines with a melter gun and plasma pistol. Once again, the Rhino's armed with a Havoc launcher. And over here we've got the Land Raider with a Dirge caster. Now on board the Land Raider we have Khan the Betrayer, and we've got 9 Berserkers, so a very nice combat squad in there. And in reserve we've got the Helldrake. So that is my 2,000 points of Chaos Space Marines. Alright, let's have a quick look at the objectives here on the battlefield. So we've got these lovely little yellowy greeny objectives. So number 4 is here. Number 6 is over here. Number 5 we've got there. We've got number 1 there. We have got number 3 there. Finally we've got number 2 over there by the flayed ones. So as you can see here, Nick has deployed a lot of flayed ones in front of us, so it's very intimidating, and combat is going to be happening very soon. So at the moment it is night fighting and the Necrons are going first, unless of course the Chaos can seize. So here we are. Oh dear. So over to turn 1 for the Necrons. Right, here we are for turn 1 for the Necrons. And the Necrons have drawn Secure Objective 5, Secure Objective 4, Secure Objective 3, Ascendancy, Hold the Line and Domination. So a very good draw there. The only one that might be a bit of a struggle is to control all the objectives there. So let's have a quick look at their movement and see what the Necrons have done. Right, so here we are. Very intimidating sight for the Chaos Space Marines that are across the battlefield. The cultists are probably a little bit panicked. So holding objective 2 there, these guys are pushed up there. But the main thing that seems to be going on is there seems to be a push in some sort of direction towards over here. You've got all the flayed ones that are pushed up towards the objectives. The Lord squad's kind of pushed up a bit. And it looks like, I might be wrong, but these guys over here I think are the main targets. So that's movement, and let's see what this Necron force can do in turn 1 shooting. Right, so at the end of shooting turn 1 for Necrons, what has happened? Right, these guys, the Immortals here, opened up fire onto the Land Raider, but were unable to do anything hit, but were unable to penetrate. These warriors here opened fire onto the Mauler Fiend, causing 2 hull points, so the Mauler Fiend's a little bit angry now. It's only down to 1, which isn't good. Except for that, that's pretty much all the shooting from this Necron army. It's very combat heavy, so it's pretty different from what I was expecting. So everything is pretty much run forwards here. Kind of getting closer and closer. Yeah, no man's land is definitely getting very narrow. So there we are. Beautiful times. Right, so let's see what Necrons have scored at the end of turn 1. So at the end of turn 1 for Necrons, they have secured objective 3. They have secured objective 5. They are holding several objectives here. They're currently holding 4. And they have still got troops, 3 scoring units within 12 inches of the board edge. So grand total there, he scored 6 in his first turn. So a very good start to Necrons. And see what Chaos can do in their turn 1. So turn 1 for Chaos, and I've drawn Ascendancy, so controlling 3 objectives there. Domination, not sure that's going to happen. Secure objective 5, I've got that twice, and secure objective 2, I've drawn that twice as well. So let's have a look where the Chaos Marines have moved in their turn 1. So turn 1 movement for Chaos, so the Word Bearer Land Raider pushed up, and its World Eater cargo has deployed, facing off against a squad of flayed ones there. Thinking about it now, I could try a double charge and really challenge my guys here to prove themselves as the assault troops on the board. We will see. Over here, the squad of 5 Word Bearers have disembarked from their Rhino, and they are now facing up against the incoming swarm of the undead. This squad of cultists here just pushed up slowly towards the barricades, let a few pistol shots off. Over here, the Mauler Fiend on its last hull point has just moved up. He wants to do something before he dies a horrible, horrible death. So he's there. My Demon Prince here, he's gone into, I think it's glide mode, the flying one. So he's kind of gone right into the middle here. Over here, my cultists have pushed up through the minefield. We're yet to see what happens if they tread on the mine, but they're kind of pushed up. I don't think they're in range for any charging, but we might let a few pistol shots off. This Demon Prince, he's not in flight mode, he's just hopping about at the moment, ordering the cultists and marines around. This Rhino's kind of relocated there, disembarking its marines. So with the Sakaran and the marines, we're really hoping to lay some fire down onto this squad of flayed ones over there and do a bit of damage, but we will see. So that's our movement. The battlefield is looking pretty good at the moment. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in turn 1 shooting for Chaos. Here we are for turn 1 shooting and psychic. So going through shooting here, not really much happened. We fired pretty much every gun we had, and we killed possibly 5 flayed ones in total throughout the army. So not great, but it's still a lot more to come. So over here, Demon Prince cast Dark Flame and tried to incinerate a few of these ones here with its torrent. Didn't do anything, unfortunately. All the other psychic powers kind of went a bit wrong. This Demon Prince tried to cast Summon. They went there, they scattered. We've got a 2 on the chart, so Nick very kindly decided that I needed some more bloodletters back here, so they are now sitting on this objective here. The most firepower we had success with really was a Sakaran here, just fired lots of shots over here and caused these guys to take a morale check, which of course being a Necrons, they passed. So they're still there, ready to fight the Chaos. So we're going to move on to Assault now, and let's see if Khan and his buddies can have a bit more luck in the Assault. Right, so turn 1 Assault for Chaos. The Berserkers and Khan charged in here, thinking it was going to be an easy fight. Unfortunately, it kind of backfired. We killed 4 of the flayed ones. Lots of reanimation, lots of saves. It was pretty brutal, and they killed 5 of the Berserkers. So not great there. Over here, the Mauler Fiend charged in. I think he killed two of the flayed ones. So that wasn't too bad, kind of held in there. And that was pretty much it for combat. So at the end of the turn, Chaos still haven't scored anything. So the score is currently 6-0 to the Necrons. So we're now moving into turn 2. And let's see what the Necrons can bring. So turn 2 for Necrons, and we've got Secure Objective 5, Secure Objective 3, Supremacy, Secure Objective 4, and Psychological Warfare. So a good selection there. Necrons are already up 6 points. Let's see what can happen then in turn 2 movement. So here we are. So what we've got here is the Team Spider has got another squad of Scarabs that have come forward. These guys are still sitting the objective there. These guys have left terrain here, probably going to lay a bit of fire down towards the HQ Demon Prince there. Flayed One's still sitting on the objective. These warriors have kind of moved up with the Tomb Spider and the Scarabs there, so they're going to support either the Flayed Ones or get into combat here with the Berserkers. Over there, the Wraiths have kind of phased through the building, have come up behind the Mauler Fiend, probably going to try some rending attacks and take it out of action. But the main movement thing here is a real push now for this Demon Prince. We've got some Wraiths have pushed up here, and the Flayed Ones have left cover and now heading towards the Cultists and the Demon Prince. So, very interesting. And let's see what Necrons can get up to in turn 2 shooting. So, turn 2 shooting for the Necrons, and basically the Immortals fired at the Chaos Marines, taking out 3 with the Gauze guns. So seeing their soldier brethren firing, the Warriors also fired, and didn't cause any wounds, but the Chaos Marines weren't going to hang around, so they decided to flee backwards through the Cultists. Elsewhere, the squad of 10 warriors there fired up into the sky, causing the Demon Prince to jink, but didn't cause any wounds there. So, one squad fleeing. It's not looking too bad for the Necrons there. So, moving on to Assault, and it's going to get bloody in turn 2. Right, so turn 2 Assault for Necrons, and the Wraiths charged into the Mauler Fiend, hitting it and got one penetrating hit. Unfortunately, the Mauler Fiend was unable to save and died. Sad times. So now this force have kind of consolidated and moving up here to Objective 4 where the Cultists are sheltered. Elsewhere over here, the fight continues. Khan unable to take out these Flayed Ones easily. The other Berserkers killed off 2. Unfortunately, one of the Berserkers did die. So we caused a morale check and the Necrons passed. Elsewhere over here, there you go, the Wraiths charged into the Demon Prince here. Demon Prince wasn't able to do anything to them, but he did suffer 1 wound, and the retaliation from the Wraiths. Over here, the Flayed Ones charged into the minefield and butchered the poor cultists who were just standing around watching in awe. So not great. So we're going to just see what the Necrons scored at the end of their turn 2. So at the end of turn 2, Necrons have kept hold of Objective 5, kept hold of Objective 3. They've also got twice as many objectives now as the Chaos, so they scored that one as well. They got first blood by killing off the Mauler Fiend, also I suppose they killed off the Cultists, and they caused a morale check, which unfortunately these guys contributed towards. So the score is now 12-0 to the Necrons. The Chaos definitely got a very big uphill battle to fight here, and let's move on to turn 2 for Chaos. Right, so turn 2 for Chaos, and we've kept these cards. We can't do anything about it. We discarded one last turn, so we're on 5. So unfortunately we still got Secure Objective 2, Secure Objective 5, and Ascendancy. So fingers crossed we can do something, but it's not looking good. We're going to have to try for some other battle plans here. So let's see what Chaos have done in turn 2 movement. Right, so turn 2 movement, the Helldrake still hasn't turned up. Probably a little bit worried about what's going on down here and saving itself. These two have pivoted round to face off against the Wraiths. These guys have rallied, and the cultists have kind of fallen back a little bit from the barricades, seeing what's appearing on the other side. The Demon Prince is still flying about, has come over to this side of the battlefield to try and do something. We're not quite sure what he's going to do yet. Over here, the cultists, the Bloodletters, are pouring through the ruins here towards the Wraiths to try and kind of lend a helping hand there. This squad of Chaos Marines has fallen back slightly, kind of let up a few more shots at the flayed ones before the inevitable happens, and they're engaged in combat. And Sakaran remains exactly where it was. So let's move on to Psychic and Shooting and see what Chaos can do to this horde of Necrons. Right, so turn 2 shooting for Chaos. So basically what happened, these guys, as well as the Sakaran and the Rhino, we opened fire onto the flayed ones there, and we killed a few of them off, kind of lowering the chance of a successful deadly charge. Elsewhere we summoned some more Bloodletters in here, so they're kind of screening out there for now. Also cast Nurgle's Rot, did 1 wound to one of the Wraiths, and I think we killed one flayed one. We didn't do anything to the Bloodletters, luckily, so that was quite good. Elsewhere on the battlefield, these guys fired their auto pistols, plasma pistol and bolt gun from the Marine, standing strategically behind the fodder. The Rhino and the Land Raider also fired. We did, I think, 3 wounds in total to the Wraith, so we killed one off and one's now down onto 1, so not too bad, could have been worse. Over here, Demon Prince was able to get off Psychic Shriek and killed off, I think, 2? Yeah. 2 of the Immortals there in the HQ squad, so that was quite good. So still a lot to ask for, but better than nothing. We're going to move on to Assault now and see if the demons can help their overlord against the Wraiths. So moving on to turn 2, Assault for Chaos. So turn 2 Assault for Chaos, and this fight is getting bloody over here. The Chaos had a bit around this time. We killed 3 in total now of the Wraiths have gone. The Wraiths put all their hits against the Demon Prince and were unable to kill him. The Demon Prince still got a bit of luck there, passing his demon saves. So that's pretty good, and still holding ground there. Elsewhere over here, this fight continues. Khan and now the remaining Berserker champion are still fighting the flayed ones. Unfortunately for the Berserkers, Khan got a bit carried away and lodged Gorechild in a Berserker's neck. So, killed his own man. But they're holding ground still, and 2 more flayed ones have died. So, not amazing, but really it's a lot better than what I was expecting, which is good. And unfortunately though, Chaos, we still haven't scored a point, so it is looking pretty grim at this point. It's 12-0 to the Necrons. We're now going to move on to turn 3 and hope that Nick draws some really bad cards. So moving on to turn 3 for Necrons. So turn 3 for the Necrons, and they have got Secure Objective 6, Secure Objective 4, Kingslayer, and Hungry for Glory. So a couple of achievable ones there. A couple more that'd be a bit more of a struggle, but yeah, not too bad. So let's see whereabouts the Necrons have moved. So if we look here, the Tomb Blades now have come round. They're going to probably try and put a few shots into these Bloodletters over there, which look like they're going to get assaulted soon by these flayed ones. And these Scarabs that have all kind of moved through the craters here towards the Bloodletters to try and relieve the Wraiths on the other side. Elsewhere, this squad has moved up, and this one has stayed put. They're going to put some rapid fire shots into this flying Demon Prince over here. The flayed ones are pushing up here. Looks like they're going to try and help their blue brothers over here against the berserkers. And these scarabs have kind of moved up to engage the Land Raider there. And the last thing really to report here is these wraiths have pushed on to their objective 4 here, hoping to clear it off and capture it for themselves. I think finally that's about it. Well, except for these flayed ones still in a minefield and slowly pushing up towards these Chaos Marines. So it's quite interesting, a lot of movement. And once again, I think it's going to be a very bloody turn. So we're going to move on to turn 3 shooting for Necrons. Turn 3 shooting for the Necrons, and all these guys opened fire up into the air towards the Demon Prince and were unable to do anything. A couple of hits, a couple of wounds, but he passed all his saves. The most incredible thing was the Staff of Light here, the Lord firing it up into the air and some lightning hitting him, but unable to do anything. So that was it for shooting. Not really much happened. All the Tomb Blades over there fired. Hit and wounded once, but demon save was great. So we're going to move on to assault now, and yep, it's going to get mucky. Right, so turn 3 assault for the Necrons. These guys came through the minefield and absolutely butchered these guys, forcing the remaining 2 to fall back. So they've gone off the battlefield. They are survivors, which is the main thing. Over here, the fight continues. We killed off another Wraith, and the Demon Prince took a wound, and the Bloodletters took a wound, but we're still holding just about. Over here, the Flayed Ones and the Scarabs came in and butchered that squad of Bloodletters. I think we might have killed maybe one, so it wasn't great. Elsewhere over here, the Wraiths came in and they cut apart the cultists. They are currently fleeing. They are now left the building and they are making a run for it, worried for their pitiful lives. And over here, Khan is now by himself. He killed off a lot of flayed ones as they came in. The last berserker killed off another flayed one, but is still holding out there. And finally, the Scarabs came in and destroyed the Land Raider. So the Land Raider is now out of action, and those Scarabs are happily munching down on its armour. So that is the end of turn 3, and let's see what the Necrons have achieved. So at the end of turn 3, the Necrons are hanging on to objective 4 there, so they've scored that one. And over here they're holding on to objective 6, so they're scoring that one. So the score is now somewhat thrashing of a 14-0 to the Necrons. It's not going well for Chaos. So we're going to move on to turn 3, and let's hope for some sort of Chaos comeback. Right, so here we are in turn 3 for Chaos Space Marines, and we had to discard a card, so we got rid of objective 2. So we've got secure objective 2 once now, secure objective 5 twice, and ascendancy. So I've got a plan. Let's hope it all kind of pans out a little bit. So moving on to movement and see what Chaos have done. So turn 3 movement for Chaos. So these guys have kind of moved up here just within scoring range of that objective. The Rhino here has moved here. It will be moving flat out in the shooting phase to try and get objective 5 there. Over here, this all is pretty much still the same. The Sakaran though has pivoted round and kind of making a bit more distance between itself and the enemy, and it's going to shoot some Necrons there. Over here, the Rhino has pushed up as well towards objective 2, so we're kind of hoping we can go flat out and do a bit of scoring here, but it's looking quite grim for Chaos at the moment. The only other thing to report is that the Demon Prince flew up here, picked up an Immortal and killed him. Hey, so he's up here at the moment. So that is everything. We're going to move on to Psychic and Shooting for turn 3 for Chaos. Right, so turn 3 Shooting and Psychic. Right, so the plan kind of scuppered slightly, but still not too bad. I was intending to go flat out with this Rhino towards the objective and secure it, but we did kind of tank shock a squad of flayed ones, which were here, which of course were completely obliterated by the Sakaran that just opened fire and destroyed them. So that was great. over here we did a bit of Nurgle's Rot. We killed one Bloodletter, and I think we might have killed someone else, but
one Wraith.
What? Yeah,
No, one wound
on a Wraith, so that wasn't too bad. So yeah, it wasn't too bad there. We tried to summon, unfortunately we weren't able to get that off. Over here, the two Chaos Marines that were holding this objective, the champion with his plasma pistol decided that it was all getting too much and overcharged his plasma pistol and killed himself. So yeah, that's pretty much how it's going. Over here, the Rhino went flat out. It's now holding that objective there. And finally, the Demon Prince did Psychic Shriek on them, caused 2 wounds, but the reanimation protocol saved 2 immortals from certain death. So we're going to move on to Assault now and see if the Chaos can somewhere redeem themselves from this mess. So moving on to turn 3, Assault for Chaos. Turn 3 Assault, and what happened? The Demon Prince and the Bloodletters are now hacking apart Wraiths like there's no tomorrow. So they won combat there and didn't take any damage, but now next turn we've got a lot of stuff coming in, so the Demon Prince may be in trouble. We will see. Elsewhere on this battlefield, as the bodies lie everywhere, mainly Chaos Marine bodies. Khan has finally fallen. He took another flayed one out, but unfortunately wasn't able to take on the rest of the stabby flayed ones, so he has fallen to the Necrons. So let's have a quick round up at the end of that turn and see if Chaos have finally scored something. So at the end of that turn, we have finally scored something. We have secured objective 5 twice. Hooray! And we got Ascendancy. I rolled and I got 1 point. So it is now 14-3 to Necrons. And let's see what Necrons can do in their turn 4. Right, so turn 4 for the Necrons. And we have got Dust and Ashes. So basically, they've just got to have a character on the board. Oh, that's an easy one. Secure objective 1 and Kingslayer, so kill the Warlord. So that is what the Necrons have drawn in that turn. Let's see where they are on the battlefield in turn 4 movement. So these guys are kind of pushed forwards here. They're just hiding behind that bit of terrain from the Sakaran. These flayed ones are off the objective, heading towards the Rhino there. These ones are heading towards the Demon Prince and the Demon, and the Scarabs that are going for the Sakaran after what happened to their friends a moment ago. Pretty much everyone else is kind of focusing on the few remaining targets in the Chaos Army. So these Scarabs are pushed up towards the Rhino, as well as the Tomb Spider there. And over here, the Lord has left the Immortal squad and now joined this big squad of warriors. There's a bit more protection, possibly. And the 2 Immortals maybe a little bit rejected. They're kind of standing over here in the shadows, a little bit sad. And that is pretty much it, really, for Necron movement. Let's see what they can do in turn 4, shooting for Necrons. Turn 4 shooting for the Necrons, and the Overlord squad here, they all open fired onto the Rhino, as well as the 2 Immortals over here, but only did 1 hull point, so it's not too spectacular. Over here, this squad ran onto the objective, securing it once again. And finally, over here, the Tomb Spiders fired in and were unable to do anything to this Rhino. So, not that amazing for the shooting for Necrons, but I've got a feeling, as seen previously, combat is going to be, unfortunately, where they shine, and we may suffer. So moving on to turn 4, Assault for the Necrons. Necron assault turn 4, and it was a horrible assault. These flayed ones came in and destroyed the Rhino, piercing its armor. Over here, the flayed ones and the Wraith actually brought down the Demon Prince in the end. Before he died, the Demon Prince took out 2 flayed ones there, and the Bloodletters weren't able to do anything to the Wraith as it phased in and out. Over here, the Scarabs have destroyed the Sakaran as it charged in. They just ate it alive. Elsewhere, The lone Chaos Marine was butchered by the 5 Wraiths. If you can see that one coming, I don't know. I think it's all going a bit wrong for you. Over here as well, the Scarabs and the Team Spider charged into the Rhino and destroyed that. So it's looking really thin on the ground for Chaos at the moment. It's only the Warlord that's still alive and some summoned Bloodletters. Luckily enough for Chaos, in turn 4, the Helldrake will be on to bring some fiery vengeance down upon our foes. So we're going to see what Chaos can bring in their turn 4. So turn 4 for Chaos, and I've drawn Secure Objective 5 and Blood and Guts there. So we still have Secure Objective 2 there. So not a great selection, but then we'll see what we can do with them. So let's see what Chaos have done in their movement turn 4. Quite quick movement now because there's not many models left on the board. So the Helldrake flew over, Vector striked some Wraiths, wounded, but being Wraiths, they just kind of phased in and phased out and they were fine. So Helldrake's over here, hopefully he put some fire down onto this area here. The Demon Prince is still flying around and he's flown off in that direction there. So that's pretty much our movement, and so there's not much at the moment we can do. So we're going to move on to Psychic and Shooting turn 4. Turn 4, Psychic and Shooting for Chaos, and the Helldrake fired in here, killing quite a few, as well as the Demon Prince casting off psychic powers. We killed 8 in total. The HQ have taken the leadership and passed, so they are holding on. I feel the Lord might be a bit cursed because every squad he's joined gets a lot of firepower against it. So that is Psychic and Shooting. The only combat we got over here really is going on here, so let's see what happens in turn 4 Assault for Chaos. In the turn 4 Assault for Chaos, nothing happened except one Wraith. The Wraith killed one of the poor Bloodletters, so that was it. We haven't achieved any objectives this turn. So we're now going to move on to turn 5 for Necrons, and let's see what they can do. Turn 5 for Necrons, and they've drawn Dust and Ashes still. So rereading it, his leader's got to survive to the end of the game to get the point there. And secure Objective 1, which is really in the middle of all the combat at the moment. So let's see where the Necrons have moved in their turn 5. So in turn 5 movement, a lot of this stuff is almost redundant now, as everything's in the air or miles away across the battlefield. But these Scarabs are kind of hovered around the bottom of where the Demon Prince is currently flying. So I think Nick's plan at the moment is to shoot him down and engage him in combat, which is fair enough. Elsewhere, not really much. It's done a lot of shuffling around. Team Spider's moved over here, obviously to give them feel no pain if they become a target of attacks. And over here, yeah, Flayed Ones and Scarabs are all kind of surrounding the Bloodletters there, as well as these Tomb Spiders that have now zoomed across the battlefield. So, interesting. Let's see what he can do in his turn 5 shooting. Turn 5 shooting for Necrons, and these Tomb Spiders zoomed towards the end here. In the end game, they've gone for Linebreaker. Don't really need it with the score, but there you go. It has to be done. Elsewhere, these 2 Immortals over in this ruin, as well as the Fire Warriors, Necron Warriors, and the Overlord fired up to the Helldrake. Helldrake deciding not to jink and to take it on the chin, which was a wise decision as no damage was taken. Elsewhere, these warriors over here also fired up, but they fired towards this Demon Prince, who decided as well not to jink. Decided, you know, I can take it. I haven't taken any damage. I'll be fine. And once again, it was proved right, so it was fine. So no real damage taken at all. We're going to move on to Assault and see if those Bloodletters can take on the Necron swarm. So at the end of turn 5 combat for the Necrons, the Flayed Ones came in, as well as the Scarabs. The Bloodletters were able to kill one off, but then were butchered by this swarm of mechanical beasts, and they destroyed the last of the Bloodletters, leaving only the Demon Prince and the Helldrake on the board. It's pretty devastating. So we're going to move on to turn 5 for Chaos, and let's see if we can make him bleed one last time. Turn 5 for Chaos, and we have now got to go down to 2 cards here. So we've got Blood and Guts, and we've got Secure Objective 5 and Secure Objective 2. So we're going to discard this one as it's across the battlefield, and there's absolutely no chance of us getting that one. It's a weird possibility that one of these could maybe one day happen. So let's see what we've done in the movement phase. Right, so in turn 5 movement, what we've done here, the Helldrake's gone into hover mode, and the Demon Prince is now descended. He's now just jumping about from building top to building top. He's all out now to try and target this Lord and do some damage to him before it's all over. So that's what we've done. Let's see what we can do in Psychic and Shooting. So turn 5 shooting for Necrons, and what happened basically, the Helldrake fired in here, killed a couple off, killing the Immortal squad here. Demon Prince used Plague Wind, Psychic Scream and Dark Flame, and we've kind of reduced the Warlord, the leader, down by 2 wounds down to 1. We killed off one of the warriors, and like I said, the 2 Immortals are dead. So they're currently on fire. It'd be amazing if Soulblaze did something if the game continues, but currently that's how it is. Nick, do you want to roll a dice to see if the game continues?
Yep.
No, it's over. So I'm pretty sure with a score of 15 to 3, even though we've got Line Breaker on both sides, I'm pretty sure that's a Necron victory. So a really good game. Nick, have you got a man of the match through this epic battle? Any one person kind of?
No, I think it was a team effort.
A team effort, yeah. Right. No, it was definitely hard work. Well, hard work for me. Pretty easy for the Necron forces. For myself, it could possibly be the Demon Prince or the Helldrake. Maybe not the Helldrake because he turned up at the last moment and we could have done with him a little bit earlier. So probably my leader not taking any damage and handing out a fair bit of damage there. For myself, it was a fun game, interesting game. I've definitely underestimated flayed ones. When you've got 60 of them and they just won't die, it's very hard to beat them. But a great game, really enjoyed it. Nick, thank you very much for inviting me down.
You're welcome.
And if you haven't already, go along to IDICBeer channel. It's really good. I'll put a link below, so go and check it out. But this is Dom from BlackToad Studios, and we will see you next time. Take care.